Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we are going to talk about the brand new ZV-E10 Mark II. And I know that I'm kind of slow to the bandwagon because this camera's been out for approximately about 2 weeks. But I kind of took my time thinking about who this camera is for and watched a couple of videos online about it that other reviewers had to say of the ZV-E10. So I can say from almost every aspect that the Mark II is a significant upgrade versus the ZV-E10, the original ZV-E10, except for one, maybe two features that I think is a bit of a downgrade. So that's what I just wanted to talk about in today's video. This is just like my personal opinion about what I've watched online and some of the stuff that I've read. I haven't had the ZV-E10 Mark II in my hands yet. So Sony, if you're watching, can I get a review unit sent my way so I can do a nice comprehensive video using the brand new ZV-E10 Mark II? Thank you. So what are we getting in the brand new ZV-E10 II? It is a brand new 26 megapixel back illuminated sensor that can shoot 4K video up to 60 frames per second with 422 10-bit color. It's also worth noting that this is oversampled 5.6K footage, which is the reason why there is so much detail in the footage. A welcome upgrade is that finally the ZV-E10 Mark II has the Z battery for much longer recording time compared to the ZV-E10 Mark I. I also want to add that it has a multi-directional microphone, so there's really no need for you to use any sort of external microphones. So I think the next feature is a world first for a camera. It now has a vertical rotation menu system. So meaning that when you're shooting in portrait, the whole entire menu system layout is now in vertical. It also has LUT import support plus S-Cinetone, and the subject autofocus now features human, bird, as well as animal eye autofocus. And also, if you're considering getting the kit lens offering, it now has a brand new 16 to 50mm kit lens that is only $100 more. If you look at the ZV-E10, it's probably Sony's most successful camera to date. It was very popular because A, for its price point, and B, also the image quality. In fact, I'm recording with the ZV-E10 today. And it's kind of understandable because the ZV-E10 was basically an A6400 that was repurposed, and some of the stuff where the A6400 lacked, the ZV-E10 was a significant upgrade to that camera. So I don't doubt that the Mark II is going to be very successful because in my eyes it is a baby FX3 or maybe a younger sister to the A6700 because it basically has the exact same sensor. But because it is a vlogging camera, I just felt that they kind of missed the fact that this camera would be used for that purpose, which is vlogging, and vlogging generally happens on the go. And the one thing that the ZV-E10 Mark II is currently missing is IBIS. And I think that's for me a bit of a problem because this camera is marketed as a camera for vloggers. So if you're not going to have any in-body image stabilization, you're going to have to rely on what they call the E-stabilization or the electronic stabilization. And the issue that I have with that is that this kind of crops into your image a little bit more. There is another solution to having, if you want to avoid using E-stabilization, you don't want to lose sensor real estate, is to use Catalyst Browse. The problem with that is that it's just adding another step to your workflow. So a solution to that is looking at a 11mm f1.8 lens, or if you want to go third party, the Voltrox 13mm f1.4 is also a good option. Another option is the Sigma 10 to 18 f2.8. That is a really good lens. I think it's really versatile, and I think that a lot of photographers use that. And then lastly, there is the 10 to 18 f4 Sony lens. I wouldn't choose that lens, to be honest with you, because that at f4, you're not getting a whole lot of light. My recommendation would be either the 11mm f1.8 by Sony or the Voltrox 13mm f1.4. I think those two options for primes are really good options. And I think thirdly, the Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8 would be a good option as well for versatility. Well, the second thing I perceive to be a problem is definitely the price. The ZV-E10, the original one, has always been marketed as a sub $1,000 camera. And I think now with the kit lens, it just takes it over that threshold at about $1,100. And I think that could be a bit of a deal breaker for a lot of people, especially with the fact that doesn't have IBIS. The good thing is that the original Mark II will probably be sold at a much cheaper rate, or you can pick up a second-hand version for much cheaper, because in my opinion, I think that the ZV-E10 with its popularity will still be a very good camera to use in 2024. And I think if you do have a ZV-E10, I would look at maybe the A6700 or the FX30. But for anybody that wants a brand new camera, you're moving from the vlogging space where you were used to using your cell phone as your main camera, I think that you'll definitely appreciate a lot of these features in the brand new ZV-E10 Mark II. Overall, the image quality is a definite upgrade over the original ZV-E10. So other noteworthy upgrades that we got with the brand new ZV-E10 Mark II is the Cine Vlog as well as the Creative Look presets. The camera streams now 4K up to 30 frames per second. So Sony's not promoting this anywhere, but we can assume that because it has the FX30 sensor, that it has the same dual native ISO, which is 800 and 2500 ISO. Because of the upgraded battery, we now also have a much bigger grip, a completely new body layout, especially with the buttons and some changes that were made there, 14 plus stops of dynamic range. And I think a lot of people are going to welcome this is the ZV-E10 Mark II now has an updated touch menu system. So what I love about what Sony is doing with their technology is that even though the FX30 is generally marketed at beginner cinematographers, filmmakers, and the A6700 is more towards like hybrid shooters and, folks that are either more, into the photography scene, and you also want like a really good video camera. That's what the A6700 is, mainly targeted towards. The ZV-E10 Mark II is for vloggers, right? So, but it has the exact same sensor as those two other cameras. These are just my initial thoughts on the camera. I haven't had my hands on the brand new Mark II, so hopefully in a future video, I get my hands on it and I can have a more comprehensive breakdown of the camera. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this brand new Mark II. Have you had an opportunity to play around with it? What's your thoughts on it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Please drop a comment in the comment section. And while you're there, please consider subscribing to the channel if you like this kind of content. And also if you're into that kind of thing, because I often talk about the Sony cameras on the channel. So if you're into that kind of thing, please consider hitting the subscribe button. In fact, I actually did a review video on the ZV-E1. If you're into that camera, you can check out that right here. Hopefully I'll put it there. Otherwise I'll put it there. But I might put the E1 there and the A6700 here if you want to have a comparison video of that camera. And until next time, thanks for watching.